Undisputed coming up at 9:30. Jenny Taft, good morning. What are you and the guys talking about today?
Good morning, Jenna. Hope you guys are having a nice one so far. Coming up on Undisputed, will Josh Gordon make a big impact in New England? And is there trouble in the Steelers locker room? Plus, D'Angelo Hall, Rob Parker are in studio. Looking forward to it. Undisputed is next. Jenna, back to you.
All right, Jenny, thanks. We look forward to it. We'll get to the Patriots in a minute, but first, Monday Night Football, Russell Wilson throwing a 19-yard pass to Tyler Lockett for the touchdown.
Great throw here by Russell. It's hard to throw the small guys to the back of that pylon, the back one, the way coaches teach it. When a guy is small, you can't see him because he's right behind the defender. Great throw by Russell.
It's a perfect throw. That's excellent coverage. And, I mean, great catch by Lockett. It's good coverage by Fuller. That is a perfect. You couldn't hand it to him any better than Russell.
How'd you like those out? Boom!
Georgia high school football. North Gwinnett quarterback J.R. Martin puts the ball behind the back, eludes a defender, fires a 38-yard touchdown strike to Garrison Manor.
You think the offensive coordinator gets on the kid for ball security?
Not when it ends like that. If he fools it,
don't do that.
His back.
Oh, you can do that.
You can do that. He even watched a little And One mixtape tour. Well, he's a little too young to watch And One mixtape tour. Probably watching someone on House of Highlights, something on the gram. Put it behind his back.
Literally don't know the words you're saying.
Waiting for. You know a lot about the gram.
The throw was so nice.
You know a lot about the gram. Don't you be lying.
Oh, finally. Connor Barth.
The kicker?
6'4" dunker, mind you, from Fort Worth, Texas, off the wall between the legs.
I thought this was our guy from Georgetown.
Yeah, Chris, I understand. They all look alike, huh?
Well, we don't have that many guys. It's not like it's a highlight reel. Oh, let's go back. The most dynamic dunker.
Brent Barry.
He
won one in a.
What about Tom Chambers?
Tom Chambers.
Okay. You got a handful
Birdman.
of y'all. You got like I said, a handful of y'all.
We got our guy.
What? Who?
The guy from Georgetown, Mac McClung.
Yeah.
Got him.
Moving on to the Patriots, who traded a fifth-round pick to the Browns for Josh Gordon on Monday. Gordon has played just 6 games since the 2014 season, facing multiple suspensions for substance abuse. And according to reports, he is available to play for New England Sunday against the Lions. That despite him complaining of a hamstring injury. CC, can Gordon make the Patriots better this season?
Well, all they have at wide receiver, they got 3 guys. Cordell Patterson, not a wide receiver.
It's a kick returner.
They got Philip Dorsett, first-round draft pick, the gave up on. He has career high, week number 1. 6 catches for less than 70 or 77 yards?
I think 76 yards, yep.
All right. And they got
Chris
Hogan. They got him over from Buffalo a couple years ago, and he's been inconsistent, but he's been a very typical New England wide receiver. Plays a variety of positions, is dependable, has gotten hurt, does have sure hands, makes the adjustments, and Tom Brady trusts him. So when you put Josh in the room today, are they better on paper? Are they more talented? Yes. Yes, they are. But are they a better team? I don't know what Josh is going to do. I hope he does things the New England way, because there's only one way. There's not going to be anyone to special escort from the hotel, getting them to the facility. No, there's no magic pill. Josh has decided that most of his life he wasn't going to obey the rules. So now we're saying, all right, you flunked middle school. You flunked high school. You flunked college, a couple colleges. And now the organization that's couple owners, a few general managers, a couple head coaches have invested all kinds of time, resources, and they really cared about him. So now he's going to go to New England, which is, what is it, Nick, as far as?
I mean, it's a PhD program, if we're going to continue with your analogy.
Yeah, so we expect him to be successful after not having success at these other levels. And I know the people in his high school cared about him. The people at Baylor, they cared about him. And I know the people in Cleveland, they cared about him.
And before I give my answer to this, I want to pull on something from Cris here for a moment, because I think people might hear this and think Cris, especially given Chris's story, is being overly harsh. Man, we're 3 days away, right, from 28 years for you. Yes. September 21st, right?
That's
right.
right.
September 21st, 1990, day you had your last drink. And
yes.
So 27 years, 11 months, 28 days and counting since then. I have seen Cris Carter cry on television talking about this man, Josh Gordon. despite not having a relationship with him, because you have said repeatedly, it's why you wrote a letter for Randy Gregory, it's why you are involved in this, it's why whether people know it or not, one of your businesses you're involved in is treatment centers. You want there to be another Cris Carter. You are rooting for Josh Gordon. Yeah. This is not coming from a place of malice. But this is a guy who in the last 6 weeks couldn't show up for the beginning of training camp because he needed personal maintenance. And if you listen to people in Cleveland, there was worries that at the time he had started drinking again. And then 96 hours ago, couldn't show up for the Saturday before the game on time. And again, if Mary Kay Cabot's report, they thought he wasn't himself. And so I have dealt with depression. I've dealt with not substance abuse addiction, but I've dealt with my own issues, right? It comes from a place of self-loathing. It comes from a place of feeling like you don't deserve happiness. It is awful, tough stuff. And I'm rooting for Josh. But from a football perspective, seeing people say it's Randy Moss 2.0, the Pats did it again. They're playing chess. Everyone else playing Connect 4. I don't know what anybody's talking about. Randy had a couple bad years in Oakland. He also, in the 5 years, including those bad years in Oakland, leading up to it, had 48 touchdowns, played 74 games. Josh in the last 5 years got 2 touchdowns, played 11 games. Like, the idea that if Bill Belichick can fix Josh Gordon, he's in the wrong business. He shouldn't be in the football business. He should be saving lives.
But I don't think Bill Belichick is out there touting that he's going to fix Josh Gordon. I think Bill Belichick is saying, we're going to take a chance on this guy. If it works out, we win. If it doesn't work out, no harm lost. We're going to cut him. I think what you described earlier, that they're going to treat him just like, as if it was a lottery ticket that they bought. But I think the one thing that you brought up earlier, which is really important to note, is that there were a lot of people on Josh Gordon's side, namely his last franchise in the Cleveland Browns, who gave him multiple chances, who were there for him, who created multiple safety nets for him to be able to ease him along without holding his hand.
See, nobody was more invested in his success than them.
No.
They were seemingly more invested in his success than he was.
Yeah, the Browns they didn't come to work late Saturday morning. They were doing their part. But the agreement that the head coach and the general manager, John Dorsey, and you got to give John Dorsey some credit because he just inherited this issue. But, man, he got out of it quick. He wasn't going to let it keep going on and on. So, to me, what happened was I think that whatever agreement that he made with the owner, as far as the general manager, as far as accountability to the general manager and the head coach, I think that he breached that, whatever he did on Friday at the promo shoot that he filmed at the Browns facility. And showed up at the facility the next day with a bad hamstring after being late. Now, we don't know which came first. Because he was late, that he complained that he had a bad hamstring, and he knew that he was having a problem with the club. That's what the rumor is, because he takes an MRI with New England, and they got nothing wrong with the hamstring. So rumor has it that he showed up late. He was
dishonest.
Yes.
That he was dishonest. And I'm not trying to draw too much from Hard Knocks, but Hugh Jackson seems incredibly understanding. The rookie, Antonio Callaway, who came in with red flags, he gets popped for the weed possession, doesn't tell the club. Hugh says to him, listen, man, first of all, he says to him, everybody gets one, which a lot of teams, everybody doesn't get one. But what he's adamant about is, but you can't lie to me. You ever lie to me, I'm done with you. And so they felt like they couldn't rely on, they couldn't trust, they couldn't believe Josh Gordon. I hope he wins Comeback Player of the Year. I hope that he goes to the Pats and he is Randy Moss 2.0. I hope all these things, because it would be an amazing story. And he is only 27 years old.
Realistically, what do you think? Do you think he'll make it through the season? Forget Comeback Player of the Year.
This is realistic. Unless you know a drug addict, unless you've had experience with a drug addict, we need to stop speculating. Because we have no type of clue what he's thinking about. The stability that he had, he turned it in Cleveland. He's also